Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all my guys, gals, and non binary pals. Would you believe I am just restarting this? This, by the way, is Crystal Light in water. I had this about halfway done and then it just stopped. So, okay, you'll see Trump, JFK Jr. 2021. Woohoo! This is a joke shirt. So no one goes crazy. This is meant for humor, to have you go, ha ha. So, a long, long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, this very chair, 48 hours ago, I sat here and said, and these words came out of my mouth, all Joe Biden has to do is show up and not look half dead, and he automatically wins. Was I right? Or was I wrong? Only time will tell as I go through this, unless you've been on Facebook, watched the news, or interacted with the world at all today, then you would know the answer. So, we had the debate. And first comes out Joe Biden. Now that confused me. Maybe it's because of my wrestling, and by wrestling I mean WWE, watching, not where the challenger would always come out first. So I was taken a little aback until I saw Joe. Then I was taken a lot aback. I'm going to give you two examples of what Joe Biden appeared like to me. And I love Joe Biden. Love Joe Biden. Remember The Ultimate Warrior? Any of my wrestling fans out there? He wore makeup and he would always run to the ring. That was his thing. And he would go, ah! Either it's because it's from JFK, whatever. So, the Ultimate Warrior would run to the ring and shake the ropes and all that. Imagine the complete opposite of that. And that was Joe Biden's entrance to the stage, which I found awkward because if you watch his performance last year at the first debate, he came out like Uncle Joe. Like, what's up, honey? Bring it. So, a little worried at that point. Then comes out Trump. He walked out like Trump. Didn't walk out any special way. I mean, I heard the Imperial March in the back of my head, but that's a me thing, not a debate thing. And Biden got to go first, based on the flip of a coin. And he opened his mouth. And words came out of them. And the words were not coherent. And I knew this was going to be a long night. So I'm going to break this up into Biden and Trump's performance, and then we're going to see if I was right in my prediction of victory. Although you may know the answer. Biden, I know he's a stutterer because I'm a stutterer. But he's been in politics for 52 years. He's debated on a national stage hundreds of times. He knows where to place it when it's unnecessary to bring out. Now, I'd like to preempt this by saying what he was saying was actually intelligent. What he was saying was stuff I agree with, 80% of it. The content of the words coming out of his mouth were not bad. the delivery couldn't have been worse. The Republicans have tried so hard to set this narrative that Biden's too old. Well, they might have succeeded last night. Okay, so, and then I just want to talk about he got heated a few times, like when talking about the military, his son Beau. That's what I want to see from him the entire debate. I don't care if he's drugged up or not. Everyone's on drugs. I don't, sorry. If you have to pump up Biden with a barrage of things to make him go out, give it to him. And me. Just kidding. Trump, on the other hand, is like another aspect of the Ultimate Warrior. He does not move fast. He definitely doesn't run. I don't think he's run in 30 years. But his connection to the Ultimate Warrior is what he says makes absolutely no sense, but sounds awesome. Like he just like blah 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 blah. And it sounds really cool. What did he just say? I have no clue. And he lied. And lied. 95% of the statements coming out of Donald Trump's mouth at the debate were lies. 4% of the statements coming out of Joe Biden's mouth were lies. Trump brought a lot of lipstick because he didn't know how many pigs would be there. But performance-wise, amazing. Amazing. I mean, I strongly disliked the man. But credit due where credit's due. He is an entertainer. And he definitely used that to his advantage last night. I guarantee if you were to take this debate and transcribe it and take out all the hums, yeah, or just all the filler, people would say that Biden won. Because what he said made sense, just how he was saying it wasn't making sense. Anyone who watched it will say Trump won, obviously. Because he looked like $1 million. My personal victor is CNN. CNN? What's CNN? CNN had the opportunity to throw this debate to Biden, to throw him softball questions, ask Trump the hard questions, enforce the rules for one and not the other, you know, all the stuff the media outlets do when their particular candidate happens to be on there. They did none of that. Had I not known the beef between Trump and CNN, I would have never known there was one. They put on a miraculous debate. And if you compare that to last year's first debate with Al Michaels, oh my God. Al Michaels, yeah, I think that's his name. Either way, I can't make CNN the winner. That's kind of cheating. Donald Trump definitely won the debate last night. Not for quality of what he said, but for presentation. Quality would go to Uncle Joe, but quality in between snores is meaningless. The media is going crazy, especially the liberal media. Joe should drop out. Joe should hand over the reins. Can it even be done? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. First off, can it be done? Yes. Should it be done? I'll get to that. Will it be done? I'll get to that. And if it's done, what happens? I'll get to that. Okay, so after this debate, should Biden drop out? My personal opinion is absolutely not. You don't switch horses in midstream. He had a bad night. No denying that. But let's look at other bad nights people have had, okay? Because I'm curious. Okay, 2012. The first debate between Obama and Romney. Romney destroyed him. I remember I was at my friend Frankie's house in Englewood, New Jersey, watching this debate, and we were both looking at each other like, Obama's getting destroyed. And he was. He really was. But then he came back at the next debate and put Mitt in his place and won the election. Now, let's go back to the year 2000. Okay? George W. Bush against Al Gore. I told this story before with the whole lockbox, with the expectations. Bush. He didn't look too smart, although he came off decent. But Gore ended up winning the election. I know what you're going to say. I know what you're thinking. Hanging Chads. That's all I have to say. Hanging Chads. First presidential debate in 1984. Okay. The 1984 debate, Reagan almost crapped himself. Sorry, Reagan people. Against Walter Mondale. Walter Mondale destroyed Reagan at their first debate. Like, there's no question about it. Until their second debate, where Reagan the actor reappeared. Reagan the spokesperson for SAG arrived. Reagan the I'll impress you no matter what showed up. And you can't tell me anything that happened during the Mondale administration. But, on the other hand, sometimes a debate can really hurt somebody. But it's only something specific at a debate, I've observed, that's hurt people. And there's nothing specific at this debate that happened that would hurt somebody. And I'm going to give two examples. In 1992, which was the last year they had debates with three people, it was George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and Ross Perot. And at one point, Bush looked at his watch, and they held that snapshot against him. 1988 debate. Again, George H.W. Bush is debating Michael Dukakis. And they asked Dukakis, you say you're against the death penalty, but how would you feel if somebody raped and murdered your wife and daughter? And he gave the blandest answer in the world. He should have said, I'd want him dead. That's why I shouldn't be on that jury. That, along with putting on a tank, could have cost him the election. So, I say that to say there are examples of debates being very meaningful and debates really meaning nothing. And I'm going to err on the side of this debate's not going to be that important. And I have my reason for that, not just, you're just a fan, you're just a Biden guy. No, come on. I don't know why, but this debate happened. This was the earliest debate ever in the history of debates. There's never been a pre-convention debate. Let's see when the first one was, actually. First presidential debate ever. You have to put ever, or you'll get a lot of stuff. 1960. So, that was the first televised presidential debate. How about it was just the first presidential debate? And that was the one where the people who watched it on TV said Kennedy won, and the people who listened to it on the radio said Nixon won. Take that for what you will. However, you don't have anyone reading a transcript of last night's debate. They're watching highlights on television. So, definitely advantaged Trump last night, but not that much. Joe knows what he's doing, people. I know you like to say Joe Biden's the worst president ever. Joe Biden's senile. Joe Biden, was 4 years ago, 2 days before Super Tuesday, they were writing the obituary for his candidacy. He wasn't going to win until he put his coalition together. People called some other people. Some people dropped out, endorsed him. Boom. Within 1 day. People underestimate Joe Biden. And also, this was the earliest debate ever. Debates usually happen 2 in September, 1 in October. Debates don't happen in June. So my feeling is, no one's going to remember this. Trump is definitely going to say something stupid between now and then. That I guarantee. And this will just be a part of history. Not really a big deal. You know, like, who remembers Reagan crap in the bed in 1984? No one. Except me, because I'm a nerd. But people don't remember that. No. So I do not think Joe should drop out. He is the incumbent, which makes him automatically the strongest. But his campaign does need to take some turns. Because last night during the debate, Trump had 3 big mess-ups. Well, 4. In content-wise. Everything else was just a lie. He took credit for the abortion ban. You know, the one that 72% of the country is against. You don't want to be doing that, Donnie. Talked about how 2020 was rigged. Only 9% of people will publicly admit they believe it was rigged at this point. Like, that ship has sailed. No one's talking about that anymore. Weaponizing the DOJ. Hunter Biden is going to prison. And the 4th one was the faces he was making when Biden was speaking. And Biden was doing it back at him. If you actually watch the 2000 debate between, the first one, between Gore and Bush, and you watch the faces Gore was making at Bush, they're very funny, very inappropriate, and very similar to the faces Trump was making last night. Not Trump. Biden and Trump were making last night at each other. It was weird. It's like I was back in college. Ooh, that'd be scary. So, no, Biden's still the strongest. You have you being the DNC. You have it all set up. You have your campaign headquarters, everything set up. You want to switch in mid game and not have a candidate while they know theirs is going to be Trump? That way we could lose. We can't go any time without a candidate. So, but what if Biden were to drop out? Okay. If he were to drop out, he would have to wait till the convention. And this is my idea of what would be best for the Democratic Party and would get them to win. Because I think Biden is an automatic win. But in this hypothetical world I'm making, he drops out. He would have to do it at the convention because you never want any time to go by without a candidate. Now, some people might not know how a candidate would then be chosen. Well, right now, presidential conventions are nothing but a presidential fashion show where they walk up and down the aisle, they talk to each other, they talk crap to each other, they compare hands to other body parts. You know, well, those are the debates. But at the convention, it's just giving speeches in favor of their candidate. So why even have them? Because they used to mean something a lot more. The big change happened in 1972 after the 1968 Chicago Democratic National Convention riots. So in 72, they said, these delegates will be bound in the first round of voting to whoever was chosen by the population of the state. Well, if Biden takes his name out before the first round, no one's hitting 50% on that first vote. No one. And now you would think I would next say, well, that would be really bad for the DNC. I mean, come on now. It looks fractured. No, that would actually be really good for the DNC. You know why? Excitement. People like to be excited. People like to watch drama. People like to see a show. And that's what it would become, an old school convention. Cigars in the back room. Bribes would be taking place. We wouldn't know about them until like 50 years later. But it would be fun to watch. And I believe the best ticket that could possibly come out of a convention would be... Keep in mind, I don't think any of this is going to happen. Okay? So, zip it. Would be for President, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, and for Vice President, Governor Josh Shapiro. Well, why would you choose them? Because her name was Gretchen, and I had a crush on a girl named Gretchen once. No. Gretchen Whitmer, strong Democrat, strong female Democrat, almost got abducted. She is like a direct victim of Trumpism. Like, no matter what anyone says, there are people sitting in prison right now for trying to abduct her. She has a story to tell that she could throw on every ad. And she's intelligent. And she's a middle-of-the-road Democrat, but she has her progressive things. And she would wrap us up Michigan. If she was the nominee, Michigan would be ours. They love her. Vice President Josh Shapiro. Why him? Pennsylvania. Very new to politics. I don't care if someone's new to politics or not. I don't. It's probably not that hard of a job to learn how to do. But he just took a governorship away from a Republican in Pennsylvania. He is popular there, and Pennsylvania makes up 1/3 of the Rust Belt. And in Michigan, that's 2/3 of the Rust Belt. So then we have a lot more playing around we could do. Wisconsin then is not necessary. If we win Arizona or Georgia, a lot more math can be done. But I don't think it's going to happen. Nor should it. Joe Biden had a bad night. I've had him. I've had some debates. This is like back in high school where I had to sit down. I couldn't talk anymore. Also, Americans have a very bad short-term memory. This is what everyone's talking about today. And this debate and the election's not till November 5th. This is the soonest a general election has ever taken. Ever. Technically, none of them have delegates, and they're not even the nominees. Biden or Trump. Someone could swoop in. But they've gotten enough delegates to get the nominees, to get the nomination. That's why Biden would have to give up his delegates. Either way, so when Obama sucked ass in October 2012, October 3rd, that was the date of that debate. A month later, a month and 3 days, November 6th, 2012, Obama won re-election. Reagan shit the bed against Mondale in his first debate against him. And then he won by one of the biggest landslides in the history of landslides. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe this debate will absolutely destroy Biden. We really won't know its effect for 4 days. But there was no moment to catch. That's what destroys people in debates, is a photo, something you can just explain in a minute or something. So in 1992, which I believe this was the last 3-person election, when you had George H.W. Bush, Ross Perot, and Bill Clinton, and George H.W. Bush looked at his watch. That was a moment that they had a photo of that they could just blast everywhere. There's nothing like that from last night. Yeah, Biden looked old. Biden always looks old. Okay? They didn't get that smoking gun moment. Also, in 2000, Al Gore kept saying the word lockbox 1,000,000 times. So what did you see the next day? Pictures of lockboxes everywhere. That Joe Biden did not give to the Republicans. He didn't give them a moment, a specific thing to be like, he said. And then you have to look at it. This happened on July 27th. I don't even remember what I had for breakfast. No one's going to remember this one come November 5th. Earliest presidential debate ever. So, in conclusion, the winner was CNN. But I'm not going to cheat. Donald Trump defeated Joe Biden in the debate last night. by a lot. Donald Trump put on a much better performance than Joe Biden did. I said it. Unfair. However, I do not think that Joe should drop out. If he decides to, I think he should right before the convention. And I think the best choice would be Gretchen Whitmer. I also think an open convention would be good because everyone would be watching it, which means more free Democratic airplay. That's all the news that's fit to print. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Doesn't mean I don't love you. Bye.